And go. Here we are again with another Spare Talk. And we are going to do things a little different tonight. We actually have a gentleman who is a Pro Shop regional manager with McCorvey's. And Mr. Christopher Phelps is with us tonight. And he's going to give us a perspective of the Pro Shop side and how things are going. And we finally are able to have the P4P Bowling manager, general manager, president, and all around one of the best daughters in the world with us, who is finally done with UAB. Thank God. And we're going to get a piece of paper Saturday, I hope.
Congratulations.
So she's with us tonight. So, Chris, how's everything been going with you, buddy? I know this has been a difficult time. So, what have you been doing with the downtime? What has Jeff McCorvey got you guys doing in preparing to when everything opens back up here, hopefully in a couple of weeks?
Well, at the beginning, there was really not much we could do because all the centers were shut down, and we did not have any access to it. However, this last couple of weeks, Spare Time has allowed me to come in. We've done some renovations in the Pro Shop, check on inventory, make sure everything's fully stocked, and Oak Mountain as well. Matter of fact, today I just got done trying to get some of Sierra's equipment ready. So when we open them doors, those bowling balls are ready to go. So other than that, that's pretty much it. Just organizing, cleaning, sanitizing, getting ready for the opening because of the social distancing and getting face masks and gloves. Matter of fact, Jeff McCorvey had just recently put out a bulletin out there about the requirements that we will have to do while we're in the shop, particularly like in Oak Mountain, because of the size of the shop, we can only have like one individual at a time. We're looking into possibly maybe arranging appointments, for that particular location because of the size. And Trustful is a quite larger shop, so we have room capacity to allow more than one, of course. Right. So other than that, that's pretty much it. Just been relaxing a little bit, easing my mind some, doing some fishing, eating, cooking. A lot more than eating.
That's something that a lot of people probably, I didn't know, but if the folks that follow you on your Facebook page, you show a variety of different types of cuisines and meals that I think I saw the other day where you had tried some kind of new taco burrito, something or another that you were putting together. So are we a part-time chef, full-time Pro Shop regional manager, or how do we classify ourselves?
Well, it's kind of funny. In high school, I actually studied to become a chef, and the only reason why I didn't like it, I didn't go into that field, was because my coach operated a Pro Shop, and we talked, and he convinced me to come in and start working and training under him, which was a blessing, right. Definitely.
Right.
But I do love to cook. I love to cook. So don't get me wrong. And my theory is, people keep telling me stop posting those recipes, but I figured, hell, if I'm going to get fat, I'm going to take everybody with me.
There you go. What you need to do now that Sarah is fixing to officially become a citizen of the Jefferson County area, whether it be in Trustful, Argo, I don't know where those two kids are going to wind up. So you need to provide a meal or prepare a meal for her, and get her and try to open her up to different things other than just Chick-fil-A. That's the point I'm getting at.
I got a special dish just for Sierra.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's very, very popular.
Okay. I'll try it.
It's from my native country. I'm originally from the Philippines. So we have a little fun. item that we like to try Americans on.
Oh, okay.
You can look it up. It's called balut, B-A-L-U-T. It's
Okay.
it's a fun thing that we do in the Philippines to Americans.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, there you
I'll
go.
have to try it.
I don't know if you want to.
I'll try it. I might not finish it, but I'll try it.
Okay.
We always generate some questions when we do the pros. A lot of the youth here in Huntsville, have a lot of questions to ask. I know we generate some questions for you. Sarah has the bulk of the questions, so she'll do that. And I can chime in with some other things that I wanted to talk to you about real quick before we let you go. So, Sarah, if you want to start with the questions, I'll chime in on some other stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, kind of what he had already said, what you've been up to, basically. So, have you been able to work from home besides the cleaning at the sanitizing and all that? Like maybe getting orders or something from people and talking on the phone?
Yes. Fortunately, our system at work is online based, so I can do a lot of inventory stuff at home. I do the physical counts there at the shop, and then I'll come home and punch them in if I need to make orders, so forth, to fill those items. Yeah, I can do it from home. Thank God for that.
Yeah. I feel like y'all would be really behind if not.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And it's definitely a blessing to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that, definitely. So what are your thoughts exactly on how this coronavirus has really affected bowling?
Affected bowlers?
Yes.
It's all in
And
your
just in general, bowling. Sorry.
Well, I think it put a pause on things, but it's all in your perspective. The positives that I see coming from this pandemic is people are home, people are with their families, they're spending time with their families. Um, and sometimes we individuals get so involved in things and we forget what's important, which is family.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it just brought us right back to where we need to be. It's like a reset button. Yeah, it caused some inconveniences, but you know what? It's not the most important thing. Family is very, very, very important. And friends, of course, we can always come back to bowling. Bowling will always be there. People always sometimes, have negative things to say about USBC or the sport sometimes, but you got to look at the positives. Got to look at the positives, and there's a lot out there.
Right.
We've done a lot of discussing on how this changes things, and this relates to Sarah's question. Of course, the pros they're totally in a whole different area, but a lot of the pros, a couple of them that I've talked to, actually own or family-owned centers. EJ, when we had the discussion last night, he was talking about how it's affected his mother and dad's center there in Bluffton, Indiana. How do you think, and we're going to get with Tommy on Oak Mountain, but how do you think in general in your region that you're the manager over for McCorvey's, how is it going to affect some of the centers other than Oak Mountain? Like I said, we'll talk with him in greater detail. But how will it affect Tuscaloosa? How does it affect Trussville? How does it affect some of the other places that you're affiliated with?
Yeah, I mean, Birmingham is one of the very, very fortunate cities that I've ever been to. And, they have centers that are corporately owned and two successful independently owned centers. Tuscaloosa just recently, right before the COVID hit, just opened a brand new center, Shindig, which one of my very good friends, Tommy Vaughn, she is the manager. And it really hit them hard because literally they were just open for 3 days and had to, they had to shut down. So, yeah, I mean, Fortunately, like Tommy, they're very, very, very smart business people. Vestavia, Angela Nance, and Ryan Nance, very smart. They're going to be just fine. You just got to pinch your pennies,
Right.
save your, this is a learning curve for all of us to start saving our money and, pinch where we can. So when things like this occurs, we're able to take it and move on once it's all over with. But I think Birmingham as a whole is going to be just fine. We're going to be fine.
Okay. Well, that's what we're hoping. And same thing with EJ said that he, his mom and dad had planned for the future for things that they were going to do and had, funds set aside, and that's going to help carry them through until they get everything back open. I know it's affected some of the things that you and Sarah had planned as far as bowling some national tournaments, but I know the state mix is still on, and so it's going to be up here in Madison, and Sarah's looking forward to bowling in that. How do you feel the state as a whole? You think it'll be a slow recovery coming back in, or do you think if the virus stays away, or if it kind of slows down a little bit, the fall leagues, not so much maybe the summer leagues, but maybe the fall leagues starting in August, September, you think it's going to come back full force, or you think some people may kind of shy away and whereas you would do 2 or 3 leagues, maybe you just do 1 league now? Do you think you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Is it going to be like it was? Of course not. But I think we'll be, again, I think we'll be fine. I think by September timeframe, September, October, we will have kind of a grasp of what's going on and what preventative maintenance we need to do. The field has definitely changed, and you know what? Out of difficulty, some of the best ideas comes out, and I think we're going to see a revamping of things, how we do things. So I kind of look forward to it. Like for us, prime example, we're looking into providing new bowlers, advertising for new bowlers for having their own equipment. Where people aren't touching the house balls, they have their own stuff,
Very
that
good.
kind of thing. So from a pro shop standpoint, I see a lot of benefits. It's going to be a good thing. You got to look at the silver lining of things. And I think that's one of the things that it's going to be amazing when we come back.
Yeah. Well, I'll jump in with this because I know Sarah's got a couple other things, but since this has all came about, Pins for Pins started in one area of what we were trying to do in order to help youth bowlers with Sarah writing her book and producing the book scholarship, and then it actually started beginning to grow, and now it's grown into 2 different organizations, which one is the foundation for the book, the other is the P4P Bowling Company that Sarah is heading up now. But what I've seen and what Sarah suggested is a lot of people are doing the video interviews, like all the companies are doing it, all the bowlers are doing it, so it's actually getting the message out. So there is a silver lining in everything, and we, and Sarah and I talk as the P4P company, we want to continue doing this even after everybody gets back to bowling, and I think that's just going to help continue bowling to grow, because you're spreading the message, you're spreading the word, and everybody is getting a chance to see what bowlers do other than just bowling. And I think this is, you got to look for the good and the bad, and I think this is going to come, a part of the good that's coming out of it.
Well, and that's why I think it's such a great relationship for McCorvey's and Sierra and Pins for Pins. I'm a huge advocate for the community, working for the community and doing good stuff. So she is in the wheel, in the area that I wanted to get into, and I just couldn't do it by myself because I'm over 3 stores, and it really takes up a lot of my time. And getting with Sierra helped helped me motivate even more to do it because, one thing I always wanted to do was promote bowling, especially to new bowlers. That's the
Right.
key is new
Right.
bowlers.
Right.
If every bowler brought in one new bowler, it would just bowling will be back easily. It's just one bowler. So again, it's all the positive. It's all how you look. You can look at all the negative stuff, but I work hard on trying to look at the positive stuff that when the clouds come in, because sometimes that's all you got to do is
Right.
look at the positives. I'm sorry I keep harping on positive, but
Oh no.
you got
That's
to.
what we want. Right. So I guess this kind of pushes more like locally, I guess, question. What about the leagues that were already in play, like the leagues that had already been started, and the youth league, for instance, how it just kind of got cut short? What's going to happen with that?
Well, with the youth league, matter of fact, I spoke with Jill today about it, and what we're going to do, those who want to, we'll let them roll over their fees to the summer session, or they can get a refund. But everything will be the same. However, we will for the league in the league sessions, we will have some spacing between each pair. So we try to give some distance. We're minimizing the amount of people that can join. We're limiting to 30 bowlers, which is good. I think that's a good number.
Mm-hmm.
And practice sessions will be like, with the leagues, they're going to be every other pair. So the pairs that are not being used for league will be the practice lanes. So,
Okay.
yeah, just for this summer session, and hopefully everything will go to normal by September, October timeframe, and we'll be right back to where we're at.
Okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So let's kind of switch gears back to you were talking about a little bit of like your history with being a chef and all that. So what got you into bowling?
Okay. It was actually my mother. Like I said earlier, I was born and raised in the Philippines, and my parents were military parents. My mom actually represented the military bases in the Sea Games back in the 70s when I was little. She always said I was her cheerleader. So yeah, so she got to, she's the one that got me into bowling because she competed with international stars like Paeng Nepomuceno and Bonku and Lita De La Rosa, who those are World Cuppers, and they're in the Guinness Book of what do you call it? Guinness Books of Records
Yeah, world
for
records.
awards. Yeah. So it's an honor. It's great to watch my mom compete in that stuff, and of course that's what got me into it.
Yeah.
When I was little, we used to have this long hallway, and I'd set up the pins and bowl on it. So I was destined to be in the bowling alley for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could really do that right now since the whole quarantine. Set up some pins, and even in the backyard with an old bowling ball.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've gained so much weight. I don't think I could fit in the hallway more or less with a bowling ball.
You were talking about the league and everything, and and this is one thing I was going to do. I'll let Sarah wrap it up. We had talked about having the youth from Huntsville to come down and do a joint venture, with the Rolex Youth Academy once everything got up and going. I spoke with James Moore today, and he is still very much wants to do that. So I know we can't do it now, but he told me to pass along to you that in the fall, after things get back going and everything, starts kind of getting back to semi-normal or the new normalcy that we'll have, he still wants to bring us, some youth from Huntsville down and do like a small tournament that on a Saturday to kind of give the kids some competition outside of, Oak Mountain. And especially with Junior Gold going to be in Indianapolis, they're scheduling it for 21, which is right up 65. And James is looking for other avenues so that he can get these kids better prepared to compete there. We got a lot of kids coming, from Huntsville. I know there'll be a lot of kids coming from Birmingham that you and Sierra will, be working with, and the other coaches on Saturdays. But in your planning, and I've already spoke to Sarah with this, but in your planning with Tommy and the group there at Oak Mountain, just kind of keep that in mind that, that will be a good venture to have some people come in. And as soon as things get kind of straightened out, Ronnie Russell is going to come by.
Awesome.
And he's going to come in, of course he's got to visit you, but we'll talk with Tommy next week as well about when he comes, the possibility of putting together maybe a short mini clinic in the morning or afternoon after you guys do your business. So those was just a couple of key things that, that P4P Bowling is doing with Rolex, and we're still wanting to be involved with what you and Sierra is doing there in Birmingham. So just like I said, in your pre-planning stages, just kind of keep those things in mind. So
yeah, absolutely. Keep me in the loop like you have been, and I look forward to incorporating some new stuff for the kids. One example I always look at is the kids in Georgia. They do that video at the end of their league. They have a little competition and they do some video format. I wish I was a little more video savvy, but I'm not but maybe I can find somebody who could do that and maybe start something,
right.
where we can incorporate the city of Birmingham kids, with Vestavia. I know Vestavia's got one of the largest youth programs. And maybe motivate other centers to get their youth programs going, and man, just blow it out of the water for these kids.
Right.
Well, we have a great opportunity.
Well, when James and I were discussing this with Sierra and came up with the idea of coming down there, the kids were just excited. They were looking forward. It was kind of a road trip, kind of a tournament trip. They had everything planned of where they was going to eat and come in and everything. So that's definitely will be a go. Whenever things get back together, Sierra's, she'll be the point of contact on that.
Absolutely.
And it might be that you guys can work something out with Angela and do the same thing of maybe you guys travel to Vestavia and the Vestavia comes there and you have got many tournaments there. I know you have city tournaments just like everybody does, but every once in a while throw in an extra tournament, Chris, it just kind of, it kind of helps, it kind of ups the performance level, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
And change the monotony of things.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And if you're looking for a video savvy, now this one up here in the corner, she can handle all that for you. Don't let her sell you. Don't let her sell you short. This young lady, and she's my daughter, and I brag anyway. She and I knock heads constantly, but it's the tough love is the hardest love of all. And I think everyone knows what I'm talking about. But she has a lot of ideas to take what we're doing with this two separate companies. She has a lot of ideas and she wants to incorporate them. And you've got of course, you've got the talent there. So anything you come up with, any kind of idea, just throw it in her lap and say, hey, you're responsible for this. Just say, hey, that paper you have, the paper that you have from UAB gives you the mindset to do what I want you to do. Even though it may say marketing and what is it? A degree in marketing and a minor in
sports and entertainment.
Sports and entertainment. So see, she has the paper to back it up, is what I'm saying. And then I think y'all did one of what did you call it? King of the Hill or King of the Mountain? Mm-hmm. Which one were you calling that, Sierra? Was it because it was Oak Mountain? Was it King of the Mountain that you did?
I feel like that's what we came up with.
Since it was Oak.
Because I mean, yeah. Since it's Oak Mountain, I thought that was the name that we were going to choose. Yeah. We got through one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have gotten with Megan and several other people. So I've got, as soon as everything kicks back up, we've got some additional prizes coming for P4P Bowling that we're going to give to, or Sierra will give in for the King of the Mountain. So that'll be another extra benefit and incentive to these kids. They can do stuff. I've talked with Ronnie that he's going to do some stuff possibly through Dexter. So we get the virus over with. We get the kids back in there. We'll have
I'm
a lot of
excited.
stuff. We'll have a lot
I'm
of stuff.
excited.
We'll have a lot of stuff coming. Through your Ashay there, your young lady there that carries the P4P banner. So
I'm just so proud of her, and I was so glad that we were able to sign her with us because she's got a bright future ahead. And you can see it. She's a bright star.
well, I've tried.
Thank you.
I've tried.
You've done good.
Well, she gets it all from her mother. She don't get none of this from me. She gets it all from her mother. That's for sure. But yeah, she's looking forward. And she and I talked, and I'll let her finish. But she's talked a lot since this is going on about how she was just getting in with McCorvey's, because she had just recently signed and being able to represent the brand, and then the other brands that she's affiliated with and everything. But things were just beginning to start clicking, because you guys had a great turnout down there. She would text me and tell me the amount of kids, that you guys were having, and it's going to come back again. So I will step aside and I will let you and Sarah finish and wrap it up. Thank you for what you do for bowling. Thank you what you do for the encouragement that you do for the youth. P4P Bowling and Pins for Pins is always here to support you in any way. And I appreciate you coming on and being a part of this Spare Talk videos that we're doing. And I'll let you and Sarah finish it up. And we appreciate everything you do, Chris. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
I feel like that's all the questions I really have, and a good place to wrap it up on a positive note, getting back out there with the youth and, just getting back to normal and even better than normal, actually, excelling. So really, I don't have any further questions unless you have any questions for us or anything you want to say, Chris.
No, just, I just want to make sure everybody knows how I'm just so happy to be joining forces with you guys, because we can bring so much good to bowling, and we need it. We need it more than ever.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we're happy to have you on board.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, see you in a couple of weeks. Hopefully, keep our fingers crossed.
Yes, definitely. Stay safe and healthy. Yes.
You too.
Thanks. All right. I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.